From filling potholes to conservation efforts to a firefly tour. Yes, Colorado does have fireflies. Our cities and counties are hard at work, and they have some great volunteers to help. We'll take a look at your tax dollars at work on this edition of Connected Colorado. Hi everyone, I'm Gary Shapiro. We are at the Fleet Maintenance and Public Works facility in Adams County. They have some pretty cool rigs around here, and we'll talk about that coming up in just a couple of minutes. But first, we go to Aurora, where they have 50,000 trees to take care of. We'll climb into the life of an arborist there.
And we're good. If you want to work outside, if you want to feel like you've made a difference, a tangible difference that you can see, it's for you. Every day and every tree is a different beast, a different animal. So I'm just gonna cut this. Hi, I'm Ashley. I'm a forestry technician with the City of Aurora. We have 6 tree climbers, and we are responsible for 50,000 trees, and that includes street trees and park trees. Today, what we were working on was clearance. So we have different specs on how much to cut, when to cut, where to cut. Either do a prune or a removal. We probably do 6 trees a day.
I was waiting tables and I just got sick of it and I wanted to be outside. Called up the city, I saw that they had an apprentice program, so I started from scratch, nothing at all. My name is Anthony, I'm a forestry crew lead.
Headache.
We do take people with 0 experience and we have a very good training program. Ashley and myself went through the entire thing. Physical job, I don't ever have to go to the gym. You know, that's my gym right up there.
Safety starts with education. They teach you how to tie, dress, and set your knots. Make sure that your tie-in is stable enough. Appreciate that the city's tree work is a free service to everybody.
Oh, I love climbing trees. I've been doing it since I was a little tyke, and I continually will do it until I'm at least 60.
It's exciting. I do love that every day is different. It's a lot of fun, and the best time's the summertime when we have a beautiful day like this.
Next up, being a law enforcement officer is a stressful job. But in Arvada, one police officer finds some relief as a soccer coach.
Graveyards is actually really fun. This is my first grave shift I've ever had, and I was a little skeptical, but I really like it. The night's different. The city changes once the sun goes down. The city is so different. For Adams 60 traffic. Being a police officer can be really dangerous, pulling into the Popeyes off of Sheridan 6-4. But after work and on my days off, I always look forward to the one thing that I really love. My name is Sloan Foster, and I'm a police officer with Arvada Police Department. So I am also a soccer coach for Arvada. And this is your sister? Yeah. What's your name? Nora. Nora. Oh, you guys both have really cool paintings. This is for 4-year-olds, yeah. Are you excited to be here? Yeah, you ready to play? They're pretty young, so just getting comfortable with the soccer ball and having that at their feet, you know, using your feet is not always your first instinct as a kid. You always want to try and grab it with your hands. Green light, green light! For me, coaching soccer, it helps me to remember that there is good out there and to see the community, the kids, and everyone just so happy and remembering that there is good out there, and it helps me to get that motivation, to put on that badge, to put on that uniform, and to serve my community. It's nice with coaching. All of a sudden I've got a little bit more life back in me and I'm not cranky, and you know, like I said, coaching those younger kids. Can we get in the circle here? They really help you remember how to have fun and how to just kind of let things go. I think sometimes as we get older, we really hold on to a lot of things, and we let things that don't need to stress us out. And I mean, we can't control a lot of things, but for some reason we let those things that we can't control stress us out.
Some amazing women work for counties and cities around here, and we have one of them with us today. Please welcome from Adams County, Wendy Brockman.
It's me.
She's very familiar because she hosted this show for many, many years. Welcome.
For 13 years, I hosted Connected
years.
Colorado. So,
that is
yay!
awesome. Thank
I'm
you.
so happy that you get to step in and host this amazing show.
I'm only 12 and a half years behind you.
That's fine.
There you go.
You get there.
So what's it like? What do you do for Adams County now?
I am the press secretary for the Board of County Commissioners, so I'm part of their communications team, which means I get to help tell the stories of what's going on in Adams County, people, places, programs, all that good stuff.
What's it like going from, as we mentioned, the front of the camera, because you've been an anchor and reporter for many, many years in the
Yes.
area, to behind the scenes and doing more PR kind of things now?
Well, it's perspective to see behind the scenes because you see everything it takes to keep the machine going, all those little cogs in the wheel. We have more than 650 vehicles that we have to maintain. So for a facility like this, it's like 3,200 work orders in the last year, 700 tire changes, 1,014 oil changes just in the last year. So you appreciate the perspective of, what it takes for everyone to show up and make it happen every day.
Yeah, and a lot of those vehicles are obviously around us here. We're at the Fleet Maintenance Facility, the brand new one. And I understand you had an event here recently, a Touch a Truck event. What was that?
It's called Touch a Truck. I mean, rarely does the public get to see all the tools that we have in our arsenal when it comes to public safety and emergency management. So it was like a giant car show on steroids. We have a lot at our disposal. It could be Flight for Life or an Excel energy truck or a snowplow or a SWAT vehicle. And so people got to be up close and personal with all that stuff that we use every day.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people realize just what it takes to keep things going in a county, and these vehicles are all part of that. What's your favorite vehicle around here?
Ooh, the bomb truck.
The bomb truck.
2018 Freightliner. It's an RV, but not for recreation. It's like high octane, tricked out, completely designed by the bomb techs. It has things like a helmet dryer because they get hot under the collar, obviously. It's called out into service maybe 50 times a year, so on average once a week, to calls in Adams and Broomfield County.
Since you're with the communications department now, talk a little bit about your favorite part of that job. What do you like about it?
I am enjoying meeting the 2,677 employees in Adams County, meeting them one by one. And we had employee recognition awards recently to honor, the workers who've been with us a long time. And one of them, Gordon Stevens, is with Public Works. He's probably had a hand in every road project we've ever had. Lives in Adams County, he's gonna retire in Adams County, not in it for the glory, loves his job, and he's proud of what he does. So to me, that's an inspiration.
I love that answer because it is the people that make up the county and make up the
He drives the roads.
Yeah.
He gets it. He knows,
Right.
if there's a pothole and it needs to be fixed, he appreciates that.
Very cool. Is there something that you'd like people to know about Adams County that they may not know?
Boy, the variety. Sunflower fields in Strasburg on the Eastern Plains, historic farms in Brighton, all the suburban amenities in Westminster or Thornton. New home sites are going in Commerce City. It's like a little something for everyone.
That is awesome. Well, they're lucky to have you, and
Well,
thank you for
thanks,
coming
Gary.
down today. Appreciate it. They told me I had big shoes to fill, but your feet don't look that big.
They're not that big. You can do it.
Okay. All right. Wendy Brockman, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We are here at the Adams County Maintenance Facility with Steve Odoricio, the chairman of the Adams County Commissioners. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thanks for coming.
This is a really cool place. Tell us about this place.
This is our new Public Works Fleet facility. We've invested in improving the facility compared to what we had before. What we've done is found that when you invest in your people and you invest in your facilities, it improves our quality of service and making sure that all these trucks are out there doing what they're supposed to be doing.
You were telling me earlier about the old place, and this is obviously much better. Compare the two. What's it like?
Well, not only do we have more space for our employees to do the work, it also allows us to get more done quickly. That means all these trucks, whether it's plows, maintenance vehicles, or anything else, can be out there in the field where they're supposed to be. In addition, because we have so many better tools, our people are able to do more, they're able to do it more quickly, and in a safer environment.
Yeah, and it handles a lot more vehicles, obviously.
Yes, yeah, it's improved our efficiency, which also it obviously improves our quality of service.
Steve, this place is so cool, and I imagine it's much more efficient than the old one. Talk a little bit about some of the gadgets around here.
Well, you get that efficiency in part because of the size. People have room to do their work. But in addition to that, we have some interesting tools that also help make sure that we reduce error, reduce waste, and it's things like the automatic fluid system. So for each vehicle that comes in, you know that you will be dispensed just that right amount of oil, just that right amount of fluid, so you're not wasting anything, and there's lowering the risk of any sort of potential error.
Tons of different vehicles here. What's your favorite vehicle?
Well, I mean, the new stuff, I like the big plows. They're kind of fun to watch, and it's amazing to see how they've come over the years. But there's an old plow from 1950s.
Right.
Call it Ollie. And it's just amazing to be able to see the old plow, not really in service now, but to be able to compare how things have changed over the years in technology, safety, and efficiency.
I'll bet. And I love that they call it Ollie. That is awesome. All right, talk a little bit about taxpayer dollars at work, because that's what we're talking about this episode. Obviously, this is goes a long way toward that, right?
Yes. Years ago, the Adams County voters approved a sales tax that allows the county to collect that sales tax and invest it in facilities and roads. This facility is an example of those tax dollars going to work. The voters of Adams County appreciate the work that's done by our folks in Fleet and Public Works, and they know that if they want to have the roads clear, clean, and functional, we've got to invest in the equipment and the people that make it happen.
You mentioned Public Works, that's why we're here. For people that aren't familiar, what does Public Works do?
Everything from repairing and building roads to maintaining them, everything from snowplows to also fixing things like drainage, curbs and gutters and sidewalks, roads and bridges. Those are the kind of things that most people don't think about until there's a problem.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about what's on the horizon in Adams County.
Well, we have over 500,000 people in Adams County. We're continuing to grow, and we're not stopping. We have the most undeveloped land in the whole metro area, so you're likely to see more roads and investments in Adams County. With that, that means that we have to be able to meet the demand of all that new growth.
Very good. Is there anything you want to get out there that I haven't asked you today?
I just think it's important to know that we are working hard to make sure that our employees that really work hard feel underappreciated at times. You don't always thank the guys running the plow or who's straightening up the road or who's cleaning up the messes out there. Please make sure to go thank those folks, and that we want to show those employees and anyone who wants to come work with us that we have the best facilities, working with the best teams, and that we back those folks every day because they're the ones who are doing the work for our constituents.
That is a great thought to end on. Steve O'Dorisio, thank you for coming down.
Thank you very much.
We're here at the Adams County Safety Storage Room where they keep all the barrels, barricades, and yes, the beloved cones that you see all over the place out there. On a different subject, the city of Wheat Ridge was recently honored. Its Greenbelt was selected as the 2023 Leave No Trace Spotlight.
This is the Leave No Trace Wheat Ridge Spotlight.
Back a little bit so it's touching the soil underneath. Everybody have fun, take your time, enjoy, and just know what you're doing for future generations.
Thank you all for being here. What a great morning. The city is honored to have our Greenbelt selected as a Leave No Trace Spotlight community. Leave No Trace is a nonprofit organization that uses science, education, stewardship, and simple guidelines to support and protect nature by educating park lovers on the 7 principles of sustainability. We've got a wonderful team of volunteers here that are going to be planting wildflowers, doing some trash removal and picking up litter and stuff to make our natural environment and our natural spaces look as natural as they are and they should be, and really preserving that quality of life for our community.
Leave No Trace is a philosophy, it's a mantra, it's a way of life. It's how we protect our outdoor spaces, how we enjoy these outdoor spaces in a way that's going to be sustainable for everybody. And a Leave No Trace Spotlight is an opportunity for us to showcase some of these communities that are out there and going above and beyond, and how they're incorporating Leave No Trace throughout their parks, throughout their community, throughout all assets of their culture.
And what we're doing today is planting native pollinators local to Colorado from the plains all the way to the alpine, and reestablishing them there along plots specifically picked out here along Clear Creek Trail.
We want to make the place habitable for other insects and bugs and wildlife, and make sure that they are able to live kind of alongside all the people who are recreating. Not only did we plant some plants along the trail, but we were also picking up litter and making sure that people are aware of the impact that litter has on not only the enjoyment of other recreators, but on the plants and animals and ecosystems.
Feel connected to where we are. If you know that you planted it, you can walk by and say, oh my gosh, I did that. The plants themselves are going to feed the pollinators. Those are going to feed the birds, and the birds are going to feed their babies, and we'll have a full ecosystem. It's a good thing. I like it.
You guys, we have a fantastic team at Wheat Ridge. I put this out there and just said, hey, I need help. And over 20 people in the Wheat Ridge staff volunteered. They all had different specialties and they all took a part of it and ran with it.
Personally, I come from farmers, both sides of my family. I've had my hands in the dirt since I was 4 years old. This is just who I am and it's what I like to do.
There's so many people that come out here and walk and talk about the birds they see and the plants that they see, creating oxygen for our community and a place to be quiet, a place to come for the concerts. I like it. It really pulls people here.
The fact that we had so many people from Wheat Ridge come out to an event like this, we went above and beyond what we expected, really shows the dedication, the energy, the spirit of taking Wheat Ridge and really becoming that gold standard, shining examples for other towns to look to and how they can protect their outdoor spaces.
We've seen through our resident survey and other engagement efforts that our green spaces are truly valued by our community members, and park visitation numbers reflect that fact. The Leave No Trace Spotlight gives us another opportunity to engage visitors on how to keep our parks pristine for generations to come by applying these Leave No Trace principles.
It's a testament to those who are taking care of this place, so the community and the park staff, the open space staff. It's really cool to see how connected they are with a community as well. It really takes everyone to take care of these spaces, so we can see the impact that all of that collaboration has by just how beautiful these parks are.
This is one of the more interesting places around Adams County Public Works. This is where they make the signs, the traffic and street signs that you see all over the county. Sometimes our cities and counties get some great help from volunteers, including one in Fort Collins who introduces us to fireflies.
Who thinks that fireflies are a bug? Lightning bugs? Yeah, that's a good guess, but you know what? They're not a bug either.
My name is Beth Cottrell, and I'm a volunteer for the City of Fort Collins as a naturalist, and I helped them develop a program about fireflies.
The females,
we call it Light Up the Night, and it is about the life cycle and lots of cool things to do with fireflies. And this year we were joined by some folks from the Butterfly Pavilion in Westminster, and they are doing research there in their labs, and this year they did some collecting, and we were able to help them collect fireflies because we were doing our program and they joined us that night. A lot of people in Colorado have never seen a firefly, and they're just cannot believe how we can have fireflies here. Everyone's amazed. How can we have fireflies here? Well, because we do have some moist areas. But here, they're only in special spots, like riverbend ponds, and we have a marsh area. And the marsh area has a boardwalk, and there are a good number of fireflies there. And they're there for us to see from about the middle of June until the middle of July, so it's about 4 weeks. And their sole purpose is to light, find each other, mate, lay eggs, and then the eggs will hatch in about 3 weeks into larvae. And they do that for 1 to 2 years before they pupate into a firefly. So you think the firefly you see this year is at least 1 or 2 years old. It's one thing to watch them and how beautiful they are, but to think about what they're really doing, how they're doing it, and why they're doing it is truly amazing, really amazing.
We're here by Ollie, the classic old snowplow that Commissioner Odoricio mentioned. Clearing snow this time of year is critical all over the state. One of the cities that shows us how it's done is Brighton.
There's no set one way to do this.
Public Works Operations Manager Bob Younger knows that every storm is unique in its own way.
You know, you always got to be flexible and looking at the conditions as the conditions are happening.
And that's why Younger tries to get ahead of the storm by monitoring the weather before the first flake hits the ground.
You know, some people just look at the immediate forecast. I like to look at the beginning temperatures, during the storm temperatures, after the storm temperatures. I mean, this one's going Sunday night into Monday.
This helps Younger and his team prepare for the freeze and thaw that they could be facing throughout the duration of the storm. But looking at the weather is not the only thing the crew does before the storm hits. Younger says the crew will also check the snowplows, grinder, loaders, and the materials they use during a snowstorm.
The city of Brighton, we're using an Apex meltdown liquid, and we also use ice slicer, which is a granular. If the storm and temperatures allows, we'll do the pre-wetting and try and get mainly our primary routes and our secondary routes.
Though this step depends on the temperature, if it will rain before the snow, and how long it is expected to snow. Younger says he will also split the crews into 2 12-hour shifts, so 6 snowplows are on the roads throughout the storm.
We try and hit our primary streets first, which is our main bigger streets. Our primary twos second. Those are going to be kind of your collectors around schools, that kind of thing. And then we pull what we call Route 3s, which is a loop through a neighborhood.
Younger says that out of the 350 lane miles of streets that are in Brighton, 240 of those miles are covered under the snow maintenance policy. But once the snow stops, crews are still hitting the roads to make sure that drivers can get around Brighton.
And then you start fighting the water. You know, if the snows are melting fast, then you start chasing water and trying to open up flow lines again.
And if it is not melting fast, Younger says they will still go out to make sure that the ice is not building up, as well as going around to areas that have been reported on the city's See-Click Fix request system.
We're out there with everything we can, or everything we have, as long as we feel that we need to be out there.
You know, maintaining our ecosystems is always important. In Lakewood, some park employees are helping with rookeries for cormorants.
Behind us right now is our artificial rookery that we made for the double-crested cormorant that got put up to kind of give these cormorants homes to build up on as the trees kind of fell down more and more off the island. Normally these cormorants would move on after they've actually been on a site like this for a while, but because we've kind of like encroached on all the affordable habitat for them, they've had to really stay situated in this one spot. So we thought maybe we would kind of help them out, enhance their habitat on the island that they have right here, and they feel kind of safe right there. And there's not many rookeries in Lakewood to begin with. We actually sourced these lodgepole pines, which are the poles that are up in the air, from Jefferson County Open Space. So these trees were already going to be cut, probably turned into firewood at some point. We actually had to drag them across the ice in February, and that was one day. Then the next day we actually put up those platforms that you can see up on top of the poles, assembled them on the ground, and then hoisted them up. I'm surprised, I'm happy. I said when we put these up, one bird nesting on them would have been a success, but it's really awesome to see that there's like no vacancy on any of the platforms and they're completely full. We're actually hoping that some great blue herons would get to use it too, but I don't think they're gonna this year. I think at first we had some people who were a little skeptical of like what we were doing up on the island itself, but ever since it's gone up and the birds have really moved on there, they've been really psyched about it. We've had a lot of people who've come out to take pictures. They're very happy that we care about the birds and we're doing something about it. All of our waterfowl species that we're seeing here at Belmar, at Bear Creek Lake Park. You know, these places are havens for them to stop on migrating paths, feed up, nest, and then, you know, have young and be able to have a safe place to do that. So not having these species, you know, would be a huge detriment, I think, to Lakewood. You know, they're an integral part to the ecosystem.
This is the new automatic vehicle wash in Adams County. It's pretty cool. It cleans the vehicle and then it reclaims the water. We're talking big. In 2021, voters in Littleton approved a sales tax increase for a big infrastructure project. It is called Big Things, and it'll enhance the quality of life there for decades to come.
This is Jim Becklenburg, Littleton City Manager, and we're back with another episode of Around Town with Jim. Today we're tackling the condition of the city's roads. This summer, our Public Works Department is resurfacing 25 miles of our city streets. It's a long way. It's actually the distance from Littleton to Castle Rock. We're in the neighborhood just south of East Elementary School. This is all part of our Big Things Construction and Capital Projects program that's paving the way for significant transportation improvements, economic growth, innovation, and important basic maintenance that we need to get caught up on. I've invited one of the city's engineers, Matt Matuszewski, to join us today to talk to us about the condition of our roads and what specifically we're doing to improve them. Thanks for being here, Matt.
No problem, Jim. Thanks for inviting me.
I understand this street treatment is called slurry seal. What exactly is that?
So a slurry seal is a thin mixture of crushed aggregate as well as oil emulsion that we put over our roads to protect them against UV radiation, which can oxidize the pavement, making it more brittle and susceptible to cracking. It also increases the traction you get with your vehicle, and it'll protect against water, which can penetrate the surface from that cracking and start to wear away the pavement as well as the underlying subgrade.
So why would we choose a slurry seal in a certain place over, say, a mill and overlay, which I know is a thicker, heavier treatment?
Sure. So a slurry seal is more cost effective. The preparation for this type of treatment requires a little bit of crack sealing as well as some patching to give you a nice smooth surface that doesn't have any cracks where that water can seep into. And this $1 per square yard is much more cost effective than a mill and overlay.
And that's pretty important.
Yeah.
So how long does this take, say a neighborhood like this?
Sure. So our contractor can come in, they'll set up their traffic control, they'll put flyers on doors, and that'll be about 72 hours prior to them starting. But the day of the actual work, they'll get in and they'll begin with their equipment. They move pretty quickly, probably about 5 miles an hour through a street, and then depending on the heat that day, we ask people not to drive on it anywhere from 3 hours to 4 hours. But with the 100-degree temperatures that we've been having, we've seen it being ready in about an hour or two.
So I know we're doing a lot of this work around town this year.
Yeah.
Where can someone go to find out more about all the city's projects?
Sure. We are doing a ton of this, Jim. There's also a lot of other projects going around town. You can find this project and many more on the Big Things Littleton website.
Well, thanks so much to you and your team. I know that getting 25 miles of this done is a whole lot of work. So I want to say thank you and thanks for being part of Around Town with Jim.
Sure. Thanks, Jim.
As you can tell, we have plenty of work on the horizon, and it's all thanks to Littleton voters who supported a special sales tax in 2021 to move us forward and get these big things done. If you want to find out about this project or any other of our Big Things projects, please come to our website, www.bigthingslittleton.com. We'll see you next time on Around Town with Jim.
Hey, thanks to Adams County for having us, and thanks to all the hardworking employees and volunteers out there that give us all the services that we rely on. We'll see you next time on Connected Colorado.